จากประสบการณ์เครื่องเสียงไฮเอ็นด์อันยาวนานกว่าหลายสิบปีสัมผัสผลิตภัณฑ์ซูเปอร์ไฮเอ็นด์ที่แพงที่สุดในโลกกับหลากหลายแบรนด์ดังพร้อมสับในทุกๆระดับราคาค้นพบในความเป็นตัวคุณ Audio Absolute
Back together with me at Audio Absolute. So yeah, last video clip, I think we show you our Audio Absolute and show you the overview of how the listening rooms and all the products that we have briefly. So this week, I think that I might do the video clip about tube amps. I think it's very interesting because I think tube amps right now is probably one of my favorite amps for sure, because the kind of music that I listen to, I think I like to listen to vocal, and also tube amps are very, very musical and very natural, I think, for me. So I think, and it gives you a very sweet sound. So I think nothing wrong with tube amps, but I think back in the days in the past where I think tube amps, people might be afraid to play the tube amps or buy tube amps. I think it's mainly because of the technology. Like the tube amps before, I think people find it very slow. What I mean by slow, I think it's kind of like when you play the music or some songs that very fast tempo. I think tube amps doesn't perform very well back in the days, but I think right now with the technology currently, tube amps with different kind of tubes like the 170, 150, the 88 tubes, KT88. I think those kind of tubes they made specially for the newer generations, so you can play all kind of music and you don't feel like the tube amps that you're playing or the music that you're playing feel kind of slow. So I think that kind of solves all the problem of the tube amps. But yeah, so here in Audio Absolute, I think we have the most tube amps in the world. As you know, Cayins, they are very well known, and I think in USA they have sold probably like millions and millions of the Cayins already. So one of our main brands here of the tube amps is Cayin, which I find that it's like an entry level for us because of the price range that we offer. As you can know that you can always visit our website. So and you can see the price. We offer the best price in the world, and yeah, and we are and I think me and my dad, we are the most well known in Thailand for selling tube amps. So the Cayins I make is an entry level in our showroom. So it ranged from like 30,000 baht to like 150,000 baht, which is I think a very reasonable price and a very entry level for someone who would like to start off and try the tube amps. I think Cayin is a very high quality and also a very at a very reasonable price. So yeah, especially with Cayins, I think when I first start in working here with my dad in our showroom, I think that one of the first amps that I listened to is Cayins. But yeah, I think it's very surprising me because of the price that we are offering and the quality that it gives you. I think Cayin is by far the best money with when you have the money. I think it's a very reasonable price, and I think it's worth the money. That's all I can say. And yeah, and we have a lot of, and I think all the Cayin amps that we sell, I think we sell pretty much every models, every series of it. Like the very well-known one that I think around the world they know about is the CS55 and the CS88. I think those two are very well known because of the multifunction. It can use as a DAC, and it's also can act as you can connect it as a phono, and you can play with the turntable and connect to the CS55. I think, and the tube is the KT88. as you know, see, as I told you before, I think the tubes right now, the KT88, the KT150, the KT170, I think those tubes are very modern and it sounds very, not old, I wouldn't say old, but it sounds very modern, which I think it suits any kind of music that you would normally listen to, like jazz, rock. I think maybe not too hard of a rock, but I think it can still play rock fine. And classical or jazz or normal vocal music, I think Cayin's perform very well. And the next brand that we have on my right side here, just up the level, one more level, I think. So the Cayin is the entry level, and the next brand that we have coming up is the Melody from Australia. Oh, by the way, for someone that you guys don't know about Cayin, but Cayin is originally it's a German brand, but it took the Chinese company took over it. But still, everything is produced in China. But of course, like many things, but the QC quality control still from the person from Germany, and the design still come and check the factory. So the quality and the product that comes out of factory is very high end. And also for the Melody is the Australian brand, but also owned by the Chinese company now. And I think originally this is my personal story. I think I like the design of the Melody so much. I think it looks it suits a lot of modern house, and also kind of old style house. I think the style of it and the design of it is very cool, and I think many people would find it very same as I do. And yeah, for the Melody, it's very interesting because kind of like a personal story. I used to study in Australia for 10 years, and I used to hear about this brand all the time, but I never had a chance to listen to it because even though I live in Australia, I was still a student and I didn't have enough money to buy one myself. But yeah, but when I came back here and my dad started the business, and of course Audio Absolute, we have started this business. My dad has started a business since I think 2005 or 2008, I'm not sure, but around 15 years. So our shop has been around for like 15, 16 years, and we've been growing since then. And yeah, Melody is one of we used to represent Melody before, but then we stopped because of the model before that we didn't decide to bring it in because of the price range and all that kind of stuff. But right now, Melody is back in our showroom, and I think it's one of the best sound. Melody, I think one of the quality for Melody is that it gives you a very sweet sound, and also we have a lot of models as well, and especially in Audio Absolute, my dad and we went to the factory, and we have the models that they sell around the world, and we also have the special edition just for Audio Absolute, which is like the Class A, something like them. We only have is for in Thailand, in Audio Absolute, no place else in around the world. I think one of the models that we have specially made for us is the Absolute 170. Absolute stands for Audio Absolute, of course. But yeah, the reason we made it, we asked the factory that to made it especially for us because of the, as you know, amplifiers. I think either whether it's the solid state or whether it's the tube amps, I think people will find that Class A is the ideal amp. So usually the model that they offer us is the Class AB. So we went to the factory, me and my dad, and we pretty much asked them to make the series of the tube amps for us, just for our showroom, like the Class A, because we love Class A, of course. And also the tubes, we like the 170. I think the 170 is the tubes that I find it personally, I find it very, very natural. And I think it can play a lot of music. But this one is not the Absolute 170. This is a different model, which I think it uses the different tubes, but also this is a different module. So as you know, we offer all the series, all the models for the Melody. And yeah, I think For the what's the difference between Cayin and melody? If you ask me, I think it's the end sound. I think for me, Cayin's is the. I think it sounds great. It sounds sweet. It has all the characteristics of the tube amps should have. I wouldn't want to compare any brands, but I think for the price that the Cayin's offering, I think it's perfect for anyone who's want to start off buying the first tube amps. But melody, I think is someone for like who has been listening to or been in hi-fi business for a long time, and they want something like the tube amps, a very high quality, something's a little bit better than Cayin's. I wouldn't compare that. I wouldn't say that one. Maybe some, as you know, someone would find Cayin's better, sounds better. Someone would like the melodies more, but I think it's really more than a personal choice. Like, when you're listening to music, me, myself, and maybe someone else would find that, listen to music, we listen to different kind of music. So I think we can't really say something is good or something is bad, but I can definitely tell what's the difference from my point of view. So I think the main difference is that I think the melody is much more smoother on the end sound than the Cayin's, but the Cayin is much more brighter. I think the sounds more bright. I think for someone they might find it a little bit too bright, so they will pick the melody. But for someone who likes something that much smoother and softer and of the tone of the music, I think the melody is perfect. And and personally I use the 170, the absolute 170 of the melody. I usually listen all the time in my showroom because, as you know, we have 7 listening rooms, but I always be in the middle room. So, because I think it's the best space, the 4x6 room with the absolute 170, and connect with either the living voice, or if I want to listen to something more hard hitter or more give you just a little bit more bass, I would listen to the Borenson. And also the Martin is great, pairing with the Absolute 170. And the last the tube amps that we have, which is I think is very well known in the world, and I think it's world class, very high end, and I think very positive review for around the world. And that's the Jadis, or maybe from France they call it Jadi. I think so. It's a different pronunciation, but in Thailand we call it Jadis. But I think for around the world they call it Jadi, which is I think the pronunciation, which I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it correctly, but yeah, it's from France. I think on the back here, as you see, we'll have the photo insert, the video insert of the Jadis amp behind me for you guys. But yeah, I think the third brand is the Jadis amps, and I think it's the best selling in our showroom. And yeah, there's a reason for it, because I think out of the 3, the Jadis is the highest, the price range is the highest, but of course it comes with the quality. And I think it's well known, and the company is also very well known, and it's been around for a while. Before they used to build speakers, but then after the founder, the dads of the founder passed away, so they stopped making speakers. But I really like the concept of running the business, because I asked him like why wouldn't you make more speakers like used to, and yeah, he answered me with I think it's a very honest answer, and I think I really like the idea of the owner. And I think to see which brand is what I think what's interesting with the brand is the backstory of the owner. The owner of the brand told me that because his dad used to make speakers, because his dad was a carpenter, but then when his generation, he's not as good as a carpenter as his dad, so it means that he focused on just the amps instead of trying to force making the speakers, which wouldn't sound as good as the one that his dad made before, which I think very nice. So the story out of it is that you stick to something that you're good at, and they are very good at making tube amps. And yeah, They are tube amps for Jardis. They have range of series. The start of series for them is the orchestra, if I remember correctly. The orchestra is a class B amps, but still sounds very nice. But it's like a very starting series of the Jardis. And then the next series up is all class A, such as I-35, I-50, I-70, I-88, and also they're very well known and very famous is their monoblocks of the Jardis. Yeah, and their very famous brand is the very famous flagship is the monoblocks, and I think they sounds great, very analog and very natural. Such a sweet sound, and I think one of the reasons why they can produce that kind of sound is because of the transformers that they made in-house. I think we have visited, if you guys, anyone to look at our old videos on YouTube, we went to France and we visited the factory, and I think we went into every room in the factory except for one room which they wouldn't let us in. Is the transformers room where they made the transformer, they wind all the coil and everything. And I think it's their trade secret, which they don't want anyone to know how they make the transformers. And I think that's one of the main reasons why they sound so very unique and such a great sound. And I think if you have the money, of course, and you want to have like to own one of the tube amps, and I think Jardis is probably one of the first choice that I would pick because of the sound and how great it looks. Of course, the golden is like the very shiny silver and the golden plate up front and such a beautiful tubes. I think Jardis looks very fabulous for it, and yeah, nothing to say anything bad about it. But yeah, but as you know, people might think, oh, I prefer the solid amp than the tube amps. But I think, as I said before, it's really more than what you really like to listen to. I think tube amps so much better now and can listen to all kind of music, and it gives you such a sweet sound. And for me, I listen to all kind of music. But mostly I listen to like normal songs, such like a vocal song, maybe sometime R&B, sometime rock. But usually tube amp sounds amazing, and I think the longer I've been in this industry, I think tube amps are just perfect for, especially with speakers, with very easy to drive speakers. I think tube amps are perfect, just like the horns right here. That's why this room we matched the Jardis amps with the horn speakers from Poland right here. As you can see, when the speakers, when you don't need required like big power to drive them, tube amps are perfect, especially Jardis. And yeah, but still, Jardis still offer, like the i88 still offer like 120 watts of power. So I think it's way enough to drive any speakers. And yeah, these are the three brands that we currently have. But also we are. We also have Luxman in our showroom. They also have tube amps, but yeah, we don't have it shown here because we don't have any room left. And also we also have Kondo, which is from Japanese, the Japanese amps. That is like a very high end, and we don't have any showcasing here because we have sold all of them. And I think they have the policy where if you want to order a Kondo, you have to pre-order. So they don't just make like they don't just make in bulk, they make by order. And I think if you want to order one, we can do that for you because we are mainly the solely distributor of the Luxman also, and also the Kondo. But for the Kondo, if you want to order through us, I think you have to wait. It's not a long time, I think, but I think you have to wait probably around 2 months or 3 months, including shipping to our showroom. But yeah, 3 months for Kondo, I think that's perfect. And I think Kondo is a very high end, and couple of customers have bought like 10 units from us, and I think that's what he likes, and he got the money, and it's a very special. I think Kondo, they have like the amps that they made, they use like silver, and they use like some very expensive materials to make it like sound very, very sweet. And I think it's very perfect amp as well. But yeah, it really depends. So as a conclusion here, anyone who interested in these brands that I have mentioned, welcome to come to Audio Absolute. And we open every day, of course, from 9:30 to 6:30, 9:30 in the morning to 6:30 at night. And we are located at in the mall, in the walk, Ratchaphruek, near what we call that in English, near the Param 5, which I think if you tell the taxi or anyone, they will know. So just the walk, Ratchaphruek, and we are on the first floor. And yeah, we are open every day pretty much. And anyone who would like to come and listen to can, I'll give the contact at the in the description, also in the video clip, so that anyone can call up, and maybe you want to listen to something, we can set it up for you. And yeah, as a conclusion, I think these three, the reason why we picked these three amps is because, of course, me and my dad, we wouldn't sell anything that we don't like or we think that is not good. So every time that we gonna pick a brand or we want to represent something or some brands, we always listen to it first, and we have to like it, of course, in order to sell it. And yeah, for these three brands, I think for the entry level, and I think I suggest that for like someone, maybe someone who like the Cayin's brand already, or but I would like to, if someone who comes in and never listened to the tube amps before and would like to own one, I think Cayin's is a very perfect perfect answer for for you guys. But for someone, for the melody, I think it's just in the between Jardis, and the price range, of course, is between the Jardis and the Cayin's. But also, it's very, very great for like if you want to have some amps that doesn't cost too much and also a very high quality. I suggest the melody, of course. And yeah, and we have just a reminder that the melody that we have here, we have specially made just for us in Thailand, just such as the Absolute 170. And also, of course, Jadis, if you got the money and you have been in the business for a long time and you would like to own a very, very high-end tube amps, I would recommend Jadis any day of the week. And yeah, at the end of the at the end section here, so the session here, we're about to end this video clip, but I would like to play some music for you guys, maybe because it's through the video, so I'm not sure that it's gonna be clear or high quality, but we're gonna record, play the song for you guys with the Jadis amp, which is the i70 with the horn speakers here for you guys to have a listen to see what you guys think about. So yeah, thank you so much, and we'll see me next time. Thank you. ขอบคุณครับ